Greetings, Lucky Legend. Welcome to the dojo. My name is Lucky, this is Lucky Lad TV. I'm your host for this video, and it's time for Lucky Analytics team building. And this is a team that I built. I'd say it's in the style of Hita Fajita for sure. It is a team built around Fling, Gliscor. The set that I'm using is a set that I used in VGC. I changed it slightly. Not by much, but I changed it. The original set was, I believe, max speed def, max attack, whereas now it is max attack with speed and HP investment. And basically, the point of this set is you come in, you get your toxic orb off so it activates poison heal. Then you fling the toxic orb at something and toxic something on your opponent's team that takes damage from it, obviously. And then you also have gotten rid of your item, so acrobatics has 110 power rather than the standard 55. Why do I have 148 EVs in speed? This is designed to outspeed Jolly Breloom and Jolly Bisharp. More importantly, Breloom, because Technician boosted Bullet Seed does a shitload. Acrobatics destroys it. Iron Head does a lot. Knockoff also does a lot. Sucker Punch also does a lot. But Earthquake takes that Bisharp. Most of the time. It depends on what set they're running. Like, if it's max defense, max HP, I don't think it does. But Cuteness's biggest weakness is, of course, Ice. It's 4 times weak to Ice, and its special defense is not that great. So I needed something that could very reliably take special Ice type attacks. That is where devibaby comes in. Devibaby is, of course, our Slowking with Regenerator, Scald, Ice Beam, Psyshock, and Slack Off. It also has Leftovers. It is max SPDEF, very heavily invested into defense. The reason I have 8 in HP is so that I have a Regenerator number. That means that my HP is divisible by 3 and produces an even number. Or rather, it produces a number that is a whole number. Because 333 divided by 3 is, of course, 111. So each time I switch out, I gain exactly 111 HP. Because Regenerator rounds down. Regenerator rounds down. Because you gain 1/3 of your HP. And then 248 in defense. Why? Knockoff. Devibaby does not like taking knockoffs. That said, it takes it relatively well, and it can hit back with a Scald, which is good. The biggest issue with this team is weavile. Weavile causes a problem for this team. Not a huge problem, but a problem nonetheless. Because the thing about this team is that our Dark resistance is Infernape. And Infernape is very, very frail. And our Ice resistance is Devibaby, which is weak to Dark. So we don't have a clear-cut switch into weavile. However, if it does not have low kick, and I've been seeing that less and less often, if it does not have low kick, then our boy Squishy can actually switch into it relatively easily. With a combination of Protect and Leech Seed, we can 1v1 weavile pretty well, as long as it does not have, as long as we are at full HP. Weavile does not have low kick, that's important. And yeah, with those things in place, we can 1v1 weavile relatively safely. Or if it has break, whatever. Because we live knockoff, we live icicle crash because they're all neutral hits. And gyro ball one-shots weavile. Like, super easy. I'm not quite sure what the exact calc is, but it does a shitload. So, that's our main weavile switch-in. If weavile has low kick, then we're in a bit more trouble. However, if it does have low kick, then devibaby can actually switch in on it a little bit easier. Because knockoff doesn't one-shot devibaby. And devibaby can usually get a slack off. However, if we sacrifice a Mon, all we have to do is send in Son Goku here, and Vacuum Wave takes out weavile. Life Orb boosted Vacuum Wave. The reason we have this spread, I'm not sure if this is the standard OU Mix Ape spread. However, I know that we have changed the moves up. We have Vacuum Wave because special priority is typically better than physical priority because there are a lot more physically defensive Pokemon than specially defensive Pokemon. Close Combat is for Pokemon like Snorlax, Pokemon like Blissey, Pokemon like Chansey, Pokemon that take special hits extremely well but don't take physical hits as well. Gunk Shot is for fairies such as Clefable, which otherwise walls us. A Spadef Clefable walls us pretty damn well, or like a mixed wall Clefable walls us really well. Fireblast is incredible. It one-shots your standard... It one-shots standard Pokemon like Lando T. Assuming it's running like a standard spread, especially if it's offensive. If it's offensive, it does not take it at all. It gets one-shotted from full HP. Because, and here's the thing, Fire Blast is, it's almost as powerful as HP Ice, but it hits a lot more Pokemon. HP Ice meaning against Landorus Therian. Against Landorus Therian, HP Ice comes to a base power of 240. Fire Blast comes to a base power of, I believe, you have 110, so to 165. However, the number of Pokemon that it hits is so much greater. Because unless you're hitting something that is 4 times weak to Ice, which would be Salamence, Flygon, Garchomp, that's another thing. This team doesn't like Garchomp very much. However, devibaby can take it on pretty well because of that physical defensive investment that we have. And also Fabio, which I'll get to in a minute. But HPS is really only for those Pokemon. I was very heavily debating taking off Vacuum Wave and replacing it with HP Ice. However, it's not worth it in the end. Because here's the big thing. If I take off Vacuum Wave, then physically defensive walls really just stop us. It, especially, like Chansey doesn't appreciate close combat. I was debating between taking off one of those, either close combat or Vacuum Wave. But there was no clear-cut answer, because I need them for different things. Vacuum Wave hits Pokemon like Cobalion, which is extremely physically defensive. Fire Blast also hits it, but if it's Scarfed, I need Vacuum Wave. The other reason for Vacuum Wave is because of Weavile. If Weavile comes in, Weavile is fast. It is faster than Infernape. We cannot get a close combat off without taking a huge hit to the face. And if Weavile is running something like, I don't know, Aerial Ace, we need Vacuum Wave. the other reason for Vacuum Wave is picking off opponents that are low on HP that are fast. Because there are a lot of fast Pokemon that like to come in and try and kill something really quickly. One example that I really like to use of this is Klefki. We outspeed Klefki. I do not want to get Thunder Wave. Vacuum Wave will kill it if it's at a low enough HP. So that's really the reason for Vacuum Wave, is because I need that priority. I really, really, really need that priority. Anyway, as for Fabio, Volt Switch, Dragon Pulse, Power Gem, and Thunder Wave. Thunder Wave is for switches, really. If I think I can catch my opponent switching in onto Fabio with something that is not a ground type, or an electric type for that matter, we can paralyze it and then Volt Switch out ourselves. We're not very fast. We hit 132 speed. I believe that's to like outspeed Hippowdon or something like that. No, it can't be Hippowdon. It's to outspeed something. I can't remember what. But with 24 speed EVs, we outspeed something that hits 131. I don't remember what it is. It may be like max speed on Moongus or something like that. But Volt Switch, Dragon Pulse, really good stat. Power Gem is to hit Talonflame. This thing walls the hell out of Talonflame. Talonflame can't touch us. Brave Bird does nothing. Flare Blitz does nothing. Acrobatics does nothing. Even at +1, all of those attacks do nothing. We can switch this in on... Even at +2, they do nothing. We can switch this thing in onto Talonflame and then destroy it with Power Gem. Power Gem absolutely obliterates it. It does well over 100%. I think it does around like 150. Even to a max Spadef Talonflame, it is a guaranteed one-hit KO. Last but not least, to round out the team, we have Shallow Grave, our Assault Vest, Ectodrill. Why Assault Vest? I don't quite remember. All I know is that this thing takes special hits extremely well. Like, much better than you would think. It is also our Rapid Spinner, and it also hits extremely hard. I believe we live a Hydro Pump from Rotom Wash, if it's, standard physically defensive Rotom Wash, and then we kind of, destroy it with Earthquake. I'm pretty sure that's why we have that investment. And the speed investment, I don't quite remember. One of the things you have to remember is that these teams were built a while ago, and I've been tinkering with them for a while, and a lot of stuff changes while I'm tinkering with them. I don't quite remember exactly why I did everything that I did for this team. However, I know that Shallow Grave takes special hits very, very well. And because it has such a phenomenal HP stat. 110 is easily, I think it's in the top at least 25% of HP stats. My guess is it's even higher than that. Probably a lot higher, actually. It's probably in the top 20, maybe even top 15. Top 10% potentially, because that's still 70 Pokemon. It's probably in the top 10% of HP stats. Discounting, legendaries, obviously. But Excadrill really rounds out the team quite well. It's a well-functioning team. There are certain matchups that it doesn't like, as there are with, any team. You can't account for literally every threat, but it's a good team. It functions really well. I like it a lot, and it's a lot of fun. That's the thing about this team, is that it's a lot of fun to use. You have Fabio, you have a Fling Gliscor. Come on! But I really like this team, and if you guys want to try it out, you have obviously seen all the stuff right here. So you can, copy and paste all that stuff. Or you can, if you want to, DM me on Twitter and say, hey, can you send me the Fling Gliscor team? And I'll DM it to you. I don't mind doing that at all, because it's a lot of fun to use. It's not necessarily that great, but it's a lot of fun to use. Typically, I open up with either Squishy or Cuteness or Fabio. The other Pokemon don't open up that often. Simply because I either want to get up my hazards, get off my Poison Heal, or I want to Scout and Volt Switch out. The other Pokemon that I may open up with is Devibaby. If my opponent has a Garchomp, and it looks like it's most likely a Tank Chomp, or at least a lead Chomp, I typically will open up with devibaby because I want to get off a lot of damage on that thing as quickly as possible. The same goes for Landorus Therian. If it looks like it's a lead Lando, like Scarfed or defensive, I'll typically open up with devibaby just because people open up with that Pokemon all the time. But that is really it for this team. I want to thank you guys so very much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. It's very much greatly appreciated. But with that, I'm going to get about. Best of luck out there. I will see you all soon. Goodbye.